Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name's Cam, Senior National Training Manager at Diode LED, and today's Reel to Reel is going to be on the DAZZLE family. We did have a little bit of a switch up. We will be coming out with a Reel to Reel either next month or the month after with the RGBW connector. We wanted to have all of our ducks in a row. So today's going to be actually on a family we've had for a while, but there's been some major updates in the last 2 to 3 months when it comes to Pixel. So we're going to go through the entire family. I'm going to really focus on just a few of them since we do have a lot of products to get through, but we will touch on every single offering that we have within this family. Again, like always, if you have any questions, please submit that to the chat and we will answer them at the end. Yeah, any questions, comments, thoughts, success stories, whatever you have, please send them through the chat. All right, we're going to switch over to the slides here. We're going to talk a little bit more about the more technical specs. As you know, this is a reel-to-reel, 15 minutes, usually on either a single product or single product family. We're really trying to bring reels of tape light to real life. Today is going to be on the DAZZLE family. We've had the DAZZLE family for a while. We've made some major updates probably 2 to 3 years ago, and then we also just made some updates in Q4 of 2024. We're going to kind of break this down by the lighting protocol. So to start out, we're going to talk about the DAZZLE RGB. And I really want you guys to not focus too much on this. There's going to be a couple reasons why. This is just using a specific type of Epistar 550 RGB chip. It is a tri-chip. It's 10 millimeters. So that is what is unique about the RGB version out of all of the DAZZLE family, is that it is a smaller tape light. So it does fit in a lot of our channels, actually all of our channels. But there's a little bit of things that I am specifically not a fan of. For example, cut points only 4 inches. Okay, only IP20 20 only. 16.4 foot spools as well as 100 foot spools. Okay, 24 volts, 4.32 watts a foot, 160 lumens a foot. But there's going to be a section here. This is where I really want you guys to focus. It's only 18 chips per foot. So unfortunately, unless you need to have very budget sensitive offerings for your clients on a project where you don't need the best of the best, you don't need the white light. Also, if you're not putting it in a channel, this can be a good option for you. But because of the 18 chips per foot, any type of channel, even our 16 millimeter, you're going to get some type of striations and runaway diffusion, where you're going to be able to see the dots as they light up and change from different colors. So just keep that in mind. Up to 16.4 foot max run and a 12-year warranty. This is where I really want to focus on is the multiple different RGBW offerings that we have. Okay, so there's going to be the DAZZLE RGBW, not as popular. I'll talk about the 4D next. Okay, RGBW tape light with a 550 SMD chip, okay, 14 millimeters. Again, that allows you to have a little bit of more limiting channel profile compatibility. I'm going to recommend the channel profiles at the end here during the demo, but really if you've done any of the reel-to-reels in the past, you note that for me, my favorite channel profiles to use with anything that is RGB or RGBW is going to be our 16 millimeter channel as well as our A1 channel within our A series. Okay, those have a very deep diffuse cavity to run that tape light through, and the lens is far enough away from the tape light to eliminate most of the runaway diffusion depending on what RGBW tape light you use. Okay, 80 plus CRI when you're using the white chip. Again, most of the time with RGBW tape lights, we're not as focused on high CRI. This is how we can bring down the price significantly when creating different types of circuit boards for RGBW tape light. Sorry, bear with me here. There we go. Cut points. That is the big indicator, the difference on why I'm going to want you to focus on the 4D tape light solution versus just the standard DAZZLE RGBW. It's mainly due to the limiting factors of this 8-inch cut point. This does not give you much flexibility in the field to be able to install and have this end-to-end on cabinets or be able to border some type of underneath the countertop. 8-inch cut points is really limiting in that factor. Okay, only IP20, okay, and in spool lengths you have 20 feet and then 100 feet. And the reason why it's a 20-foot spool is because you'll see here in a second, we'll go through these specs really quick, that you have a max run up to 20 feet. So you get a little bit longer of a max run. It's a little bit brighter, of course, than the RGB version due to that white chip. When all on, you're looking at 198 lumens a foot. The big thing about the DAZZLE family, as you can see here, is that you still get that old school longest warranty in the industry of 12 years with all of the DAZZLE family. So let's keep that in mind. And then again, double the amount of chips, 36 chips per foot. But this next one I want to talk about is really, if you're going to focus on the DAZZLE family, you're not going to use our Streamlight RGBW or our Valent RGBW. Really, if you're going to just do simple RGBW, I would focus on the 4D. This is a unique quad chip that we use, so that it's almost, the best way I can explain this is how we had to go about it to have tight pitch, high density lighting across a circuit board before the advancements in circuit boards that we came out with, for example, with the Streamlight RGBW or the Valent RGBW. So for example, if you put this in a 16 millimeter channel and Valent RGBW in a 16 millimeter channel, you would have very similar diffusion across the lens and channel. And that's the unique part about the quad chip. This is not as big of a factor anymore due to having those other RGBW offerings, but just keep that in mind. This is why it's my favorite to utilize within the DAZZLE family. There are a lot of installers and distributors and reps across the country who still want to use DAZZLE. It's all they've ever known. They're used to it. It's robust. It has that 12-year warranty. So keep that in mind. I don't think this family is going anywhere, but just wanted to help you on where to focus when trying to choose which tape light from this family. Okay, 14 millimeters is a limiting factor, of course. It is a larger width tape light. All of our channel profiles, for the most part, are really designed around 8 millimeters, 10 millimeters, and 12 millimeters. So with 14 millimeters, you're very limited. There is a channel profile compatibility list on the actual spec sheet. Just keep that in mind. You can reference that when trying to choose a fully loaded fixture. But again, for me, anytime I'm doing RGBW, it's always going to be the 16 millimeter or the A1. Those look the best out of all the different combinations of samples I've tested. Those have the best diffusion by far, specifically if you're going to do direct view. Okay, so 80 plus CRI like normal, cut points 4 inches. Okay, you do get in the DAZZLE family, this is the only tape light you do get that is IP65. So you can get this in a wet located version. This was mainly the reason why people continue to use DAZZLE RGBW 4D versus Valent RGBW for probably about 4 to 5 months after we released Valent RGBW, because we had not offered it yet in the wet location for Valent RGBW. So just keep that in mind. Now Valent RGBW does have a wet location format, so you can utilize that. Spool length's only 16.4 feet, okay, 24 volts, 3.8 watts. It's not as bright as the regular RGBW. It's only 275. And then 16.4 feet, and again, that 12-year warranty, okay? This is the new update for us. So we started a new scenic division where we do a lot of, houses of worship, different types of movie sets, concert venues, different things like that. And we needed to offer some type of pixel solution for these types of customers. But we wanted to we didn't want to forget about the standard lighting industry, distribution, specification, all the electrical contractors that have been, have been with us from the beginning. So we still are offering the pixel lighting through Diode LED. You can find these offerings in the scenic division. So you can search that. You can even just search DAZZLE Pixel on the search bar. You'll be able to find this. We're trying to make it very much, we want it to be only offered through that division in a sense, to make sure people understand that there is a lot of nuances to Pixel that is a little bit difficult for the standard lighting industry. For example, DMX, our team can really help you all the way from the very beginning to the end with DMX. We can help you with the DMX basics, the overview, what types of hardware you need, system design. We even do programming in-house for DMX. With Pixel, this adds a whole nother layer of control within the robust control system that already exists. So just keep that in mind, that your installers that are going to be, if you're going to utilize Pixel on your project, you need to make sure that your installers are capable of being able to know how to wire up this system as well as program it. Okay, we do not have that capability as of now in-house, so I just want to put that disclaimer up front. We're getting a lot of requests for Pixel lighting, but then the installer, the electrical contractor, the rep has no idea the system design, what is all needed, how it actually is programmed, and unfortunately right now our team does not have the capabilities to be able to back you up with that. So again, just wanted to make sure I had that disclaimer up front. Okay, so DAZZLE Pixel RGB. Okay, we have two different solutions for this. Okay, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to break it down here in just a second. Okay, so 12 volt. Okay, we're going to just go through these, and sorry, I had the slides formatted wrong here, so let me just put them all out first. Okay, so as you can see here, we have really our 12 volt offering on the left as well as our 24 volt offering on the right, and I'm pretty much breaking down the kind of two different options here, and I apologize, they're actually on the right side. 24 volt should be a 3 LED. Okay, so really within each voltage platform, okay, you're going to have a more tight pixel control. With 12 volt, it's going to be 1 LED or it's going to be 3 LED. And then on 24 volt, it's going to be 3 LED or 6 LED. So 1 LED is obviously very, very curated control. You can do some unique things with that. Just keep in mind, though, that right now that is only offered in 12 volt. That is just the capabilities of the circuit board. And I just wanted to have a side-by-side comparison here. Obviously, with 24 volt, you get a little bit higher lumen output, but the reason why a lot of our customers that we see in Scenic are going towards 12 volt is because of that cut point capability. So with the 12 volt, you're going to get much better cut points. So at the 1 LED, it's every 0.66 inches, so almost a half an inch, which is really incredible. It gives you a lot of flexibility to do different types of display fabrications and be able to install it edge to edge without having any dead spots or hot spots with overlapping tape light. Okay, as you can see here, like everything in diode LED fashion, we came out with it as an IP20 only first, and then what location is coming soon. Okay, both of these platforms are 10 millimeters wide, so you do not have to have any issues. For the most part, really, I would say off the top of my head, maybe our slim recessed channel is the only type of channel that you will not be able to utilize pixel tape light in at 10 millimeters. For the rest of our channel profiles, you will have that good compatibility. Okay, and then I want to move on to the next one here. Let me just go through these really quick. Again, I apologize the last slide. Oops, sorry. Let me go back up. Apologize on the last slide. Just note, again, the 24 volt on the last side is a 3 LED, meaning that you have control over every 3 LEDs as you go through and do different types of pixel patterns and chasing. Okay, so then to the next round here, 12 volt versus 24 volt, you're going to get on 12 volt that 3 LED, and in 24 volt, you're going to get that 6 LEDs. And again, that's all that means is every 6 LEDs, you can then chase into the next 6 LEDs. You do not have that single LED control as of right now. That's only with 12 volts. As you go down here, right, again, the cut points do matter when it comes to installation and even specification. So even with the 3 LED, you're going to get every 2-inch cut points on the 12 volt platform, and then every 4-inch cut points on the 24 volt platform. Still only IP20, like I said, 10 millimeters, and then again, though, with the DAZZLE 7-year warranty. And with the Pixel, we wanted to try to keep it at that 12-year warranty, but with all of the things that come along with Pixel, we wanted to still be able to keep the price down to be able to be competitive across the board with a lot of our competitors out there in that space. And so we lowered the warranties to still a very strong warranty of 7 years, just not 12 years, to be able to keep the cost down. So just keep that in mind. That is the only reason why it's at a 7-year warranty, is really just kind of getting ahead of all the issues that do come and populate with Pixel. All right, and then with the controller, so just keep in mind with Pixel, a lot of people think that it is a very robust wiring system from the tape light. It is not. It's actually pretty much a 3-wire. Sometimes you might use a 4th wire for backup data, but it's actually very, very simple wiring coming off of the actual tape light. Really where it gets more advanced is the control system. So we have partnered with Avitech. Okay, so Avitech is really the standard in the industry for pixel control. They're the most well-known. They've been around forever. Their control hardware is bulletproof. We offer all of the hardware needed to create a control system, a pixel control system. But again, we can only just offer the hardware as of right now. When it comes to the installation and the programming, which you do need programming, Unlike DMX, where DMX has pre-programmed controllers, almost everything in Pixel always has to be programmable. So just keep that in mind. Make sure that if you are going to recommend this type of product, Pixel Control, that you have an installer that can back you up, or a controls team on your, if you're a rep, for example, you have a controls team that can handle this. If you're the distributor, you have a controls team that can handle the robust nature of what comes with Pixel Control, okay? And then driver recommendation, as always, I always recommend the VLM constant voltage driver. So both for the RGB, RGBW, and Pixel, you're still going to need a constant voltage driver. Okay, this is where the control system is actually going to be doing the dimming versus the driver. If you put a standard driver that is dimmable, so like our OmniDrive X or OmniDrive Basics, you're going to fight both systems. So the driver is going to want to do the dimming as well as the control system, and this is where you see these examples where you try to dim down a RGBW tape light, you dim it down about 25% and then it just shuts off. Or you start to dim it down and it kind of flickers and it goes and it bounces up and down. That is because both of them are trying to fight each other. You need a non-dimmable constant voltage driver, okay? And so that is our VLM. As you can see here, we have a robust offering with it. So 12 volts, you have 60 watts or a dual junction box with two 60 watts in there. You have 24 volts, 60, 100, and then a dual 100 watt, and then even 48 volt if you do get into that. We also have other constant voltage drivers through Meanwell. The reason why I bring this up is a lot of people in the scenic division do not have to worry about class 2. Okay, this VLM driver is a class 2 driver. That is the reason why it does not go above 100 watts. We do have ones that go very, very high. I think up to like 380 watts if I'm not mistaken, that you can use. Just make sure that you note the code in your area and if you have to be class 2 and under that 100 watts, okay? So demo, let's get it on here. All right, we're gonna start out really quickly here with I'm going to showcase what I mean by the DAZZLE RGB here. Let me grab this one and this one over here. There we go. All right, we'll start with this. All right, I'm going to set this up so hopefully you guys can see it a little bit better with it being pushed down, the diode's not facing exactly towards you. Okay, and so I'm going to be using the Consambi controller. That's one of our Bluetooth controllers. Just note you can use our touch dial controller with this as well as a DMX system. Okay, 1 second here. Let me let it load. So as you can see with the controller here, I do not have the capability of being able to utilize whites. I can kind of try to mimic whites by pulling this up and trying to create some type of white light. This is really with a mix between all of the RGB colors together. It's not a true CCT. It's very difficult to get to lower CCTs as well. So just keep that in mind. That is the limitation of just using RGB. But I can be able to go around and choose different colors. Going over, let's try to do a blue here. Different blues, different greens, and obviously when you're choosing your colors, it's always going to be non-pastel saturated colors due to not having that white chip. You cannot really create pastel colors at all with RGB tape light. Okay, I'm going to give you a close-up look here. You can notice here, right? So again, those cut points every 4 inches. Single LEDs are a little bit more spaced out than the other DAZZLE platforms. So again at 18 chips per foot. Okay, so I'm going to pop over here, and now we're going to check out really quick. Boom. Okay, so this one now is going to be just the standard DAZZLE RGBW. So you can notice here, this is the big reason why I'm going to push you away from using this tape light platform versus the 4D. Not only just because of the 8-inch cut point, so you can see that's pretty wide, but notice the difference. This is kind of what we had to use at the time when we first came out with this years ago, where we had to kind of have a white chip and then a tri-chip, and they were very spaced out. So unfortunately, even in a 16 millimeter channel, something that has a deep lens and cavity, you're still gonna get that runaway diffusion because of how spaced out these LED diodes are. So I'll just demo it here really quick. Let's go like this. That. Boom. There you go. Bear with me here. Gonna go back onto my Consambi control. Select that work? Always trying to kick me out. All right, here we go. All right, having issues with this one. That's okay. We're going to move on just because this one is not really what I want you to focus on anyways. And then here is the DAZZLE RGBW quad chip. And so I want you to take a look at this close up here. If you notice, what we were able to do at the time with the advancements in circuit boards, this was a big deal at the time, was being able to give you all of the RGB and then that white chip in one single chip. And so this was really, when it first came out, very much a spec lock, very unique for the industry. This allowing us to still be able to keep those 36 diodes per foot capability, so you can still have this in a channel profile and have good diffusion, and everything is coming from one single quad chip. So let's try this one out here. Let's straighten this out a little bit so I can, sorry about this. Anytime you're dealing with straight tape light, you're always gonna have a lot of stuff moving around. There we go, I got it, there we go, boom, all right. So I'll showcase here in just a second what this looks like. All right, so now notice on my Kasambi controller here, now I have the functionality of the white, okay? So again, I can go and let's choose like a red here. So if you notice though, it's a pastel red, it has all of the white mixed in there, and then I can go and change it more to like 50%. Now it gets a little bit more saturated, but then when you pull out all of that white, you get a really nice saturated red. On the camera, it's still coming out a little bit orange, but in person, this is a deep saturated red. You can go over here and change it around. So I want you to see it now facing up. I'm gonna kind of dim this down a little bit here. Okay, and I wanna try to showcase. So let's go to a red here again. Okay, and now I'm going to turn on all the white here. All right, and then now you'll be able to kind of see that white chip lighting up there. Okay, and then I can take out the white here, and you can see that turning off. That little tiny fourth of that quad chip is everything that you need for the white light. Okay, and then again, you can go and do color saturation and change it back up and try to create different types of CCTs. But again, you're just mimicking the CCT. So I can, for example, try to come down and create, let's see if I can showcase it here. Like I can try to make a warm CCT by trying to just move around into the orange and reds and then keep that white in there. But it's very, very difficult. It's not an actual true CCT. So just keep that in mind, okay? I'm gonna showcase this again here. Again, everything working off of that one chip, okay? You have your cut points here. We always have it as pre-soldered. We do have quick connects as well that we offer for the DAZZLE family. We are, though, coming out with that new RGBW connector here in the future that I think is going to be a game changer that will allow you to be able to not have to solder in the field with RGBW tape lights. Okay, so I want to showcase here really quick. So this is going to be, as you can see here, the 12 volt. I'm going to use the 3 LED version of it. So as you notice here, every 3 LEDs, then you have another resistor. Every 3 LEDs, you have another resistor. Okay, so this is what that DAZZLE 12 volt 3 LED RGBW tape light looks like. Okay, so we're gonna plug this into a 12 volt. This, okay, and I'm gonna try to straighten this out best I can. And then I will show you with the chip spacing up here in just a second. Okay, boom. Why is this not working? Huh. It just worked too. Let's try this again. Boom. There we go. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So we're using just a little sample remote here. So it has very limited functionality when it comes to the different patterns, but you can do individuals like this. You can kind of slow it down. Okay, you can speed it up. Okay, make it really, really crazy. Okay, then you can do where it's all LED diodes on. Yeah, you can turn it up a little bit, possibly. Face it up a little bit. There we go. Let's try this now. And then you can do just different types of patterns, right? So this is changing and chasing, but then changing different colors each one. This one right here is where all colors are going to be on, and they're really just fading in between different colors. Okay, so there's a lot of different functionality as well. So this one, for example, is still all of the LED diodes on, but then each individual 3 LEDs are a different color. Okay. So now this is where it would be all of the LEDs are the same color, and then they're kind of fading through each one. So you can see here's the big thing on why I wanted to show the 3 LED versus the 1 is, in my opinion, the 1 LED is obviously going to be more costly. Personally, in my opinion, the 3 LED on either the 12 or 24 volt platform looks beautiful either by itself, tape play, or even in a channel. I think it gives you plenty of functionality to still create those different types of pixel patterns that you want to see. Okay. This is another chasing version here. Let's try that here. Slow it down a little bit. There we go. So you can even control the speed. Awesome. All right, now let me show you what the 6 LED 24 volt looks like. Thank you. All right. Get this one plugged in here. There we go. All right, so actually, you know what? That kind of looks cool on the video camera. We're going to do this. We're going to let it, we'll do a little spiral here. Okay, so then I'm going to try out, we'll slow this down here really quick. You can see, so just, again, a little bit bigger of a gap of light. Let's try another one here. Slow it down a little bit. So this one's just changing different colors. Okay, now let's try all colors on. Okay, it's changing from different ones here. This is, again, similar to a pattern, but just with larger gaps of light, okay? And then you can see here as I showcase it up, right? I'll do a chasing one again here, and then let's slow it down. So just, again, a little bit larger of a gap here, but still really gets the job done. Let me try, sorry, there we go. You can see still creates a good pixel pattern. Most of your customers are going to be fine with the 3 LED or the 6 LED. Where we do the 1 LED is for very unique projects. So I just wanted to keep that in mind. If you're doing, for example, 24 volt type of project across the board, you're doing RGBW, tunable white, warm dim, all these other lighting protocols across your project, you're using 24 volt. This is why I'm telling you that the 3 or 6 LED will get the job done, so that this way you can have 24 volt drivers across the board. All right. And last thing really quick is, I've shown these before, but again, I just wanted to showcase them again just so that you see them. These are the channels that I recommend. The 16 millimeter, notice how it has that wide gap between the lens and the raceway, as well as the A1, a little bit shorter of a gap. These two look great with most of the dynamic color systems that we offer. Okay, switch back here. Training resources before we get into questions and answers. Just wanted to always note we have a new training section on the Diode LED website. If you go under resources, you'll be able to click training. This showcases our factory training and the different things that you can do at factory training. It also showcases the different virtual trainings, as well as field training options, and even our videos. And we're really trying to create a lot of new video series and playlists. This is just kind of a little snippet of what it looks like. Obviously, there's more below. And then, again, our website, right? We are trying to add a lot of new different types of series. We have the Why It Matters series now. We have the Light Lab series, as well as all of the past reel-to-reel recordings. So keep that in mind. Check them out. Share them with people. If you have any video requests, please send them in to training@DiodeLED.com. We'll take a look at them and see if it's feasible. Before I end, if you don't get your answer, you don't have your question answered today, meaning that you just don't know it yet, you think of another question in the future, please send any of this Reel-to-Reels related questions to training@DiodeLED.com. Any training related opportunities, the training@DiodeLED.com. And then for all other questions, inquiries, product questions, things like that, please send them to info@DiodeLED.com. With that too, my name's Cam, Senior National Training Manager at Diode LED. I appreciate you always joining us on these Reel-to-Reels, and I'll see you in the next one.